This story begins with a simple yet special girl, Hanazawa. She seems like an ordinary student, but she is absolutely brilliant in her studies. She tries her best in everything she does, and this isn't limited to just school. Her passion and hard work are just as intense at home as well. Her love for her family is just as sincere as her dedication to her studies. Hina has two close friends, Hikari and Akira. And Akira has secretly liked Hina since childhood, but our innocent heroine has no idea about it. Hina's daily life isn't much different either. Her mom and dad run a famous restaurant and are so busy with work that the small responsibilities at home often fall on Hina's shoulders. She takes complete care of her little sister. Waking her up in the morning, making breakfast, dropping her off at school, she handles everything just like a perfect big sister. Honestly, Hina is the kind of girl that anyone would say everyone should have a daughter and sister like her. But one night, there's a twist in the story. Hina's little sister is crazy about romantic films and fairy tales, so Hina tells her the classic story of Cinderella. But her sister, pointing at the TV, says, "Look, this is the real Prince Charming." And at that moment, Hina's eyes get fixed on the screen, and that's when she experiences love at first sight. The hero of that film was none other than Kaede, a super hit actor and a former member of a famous K-pop band. Kaede's style, charm, and talent have made him a superstar among the three girls. Hikari had already told Hina about this, but Hina was so caught up in her studies that she didn't even know Kaede's name until now. Then fate added a filmy twist. That very night, Hikari calls and shares news that turns Hina's world upside down the moment she hears it. Hikari tells her that their school has been selected for the shooting of Kaede's new film, and the most exciting part is that students will get the chance to participate as extras. Hearing this, Hina jumps with joy and immediately tells Hikari, "Put my name on the list." The next day, the whole atmosphere becomes completely cinematic. Hina, Hikari, and the other students are standing in line for the shoot. They are supposed to be shown working in the lab as regular students. On the other hand, Hikari's excitement is soaring sky high because now she's actually going to meet her favorite star, Kaede. But Hina keeps her feelings hidden deep inside her heart. She neither says anything nor shows anything, but as soon as they get the signal to enter the lab, she gets a little distracted and bumps straight into Kaede. This sudden collision leaves Hina completely stunned. Kaede apologizes shyly and then goes back to the shoot, but Hina is left standing there as if frozen. It's as if time itself has stopped, and just like in a romantic drama, Kaede flashes a killer smile, which completely melts Hina's heart. Honestly, it was a classic heart-stopper moment. After the shoot, both girls talk about Kaede. Excitedly, Hikari asks, "So, did you see Kaede up close?" But Hina, trying to keep her cool and control her feelings, acts all nonchalant. "Oh no, I didn't even notice him." Hikari shouts at her that next time she definitely has to look, and then walks away. But just then, Hina's eyes fall on a cold drink can lying on the road. As she moves to pick it up, Kaede unexpectedly appears standing there. He is watching the school cheerleaders perform intently, and that's when his dark side comes to the forefront. To be honest, for a moment it feels like, should we call the police or what? The drama doesn't end here. As Hina tries to leave from there, she slips and accidentally exposes her backside. Without any shame, Kaede shouts, "86 centimeters!" Hina turns red with embarrassment and runs away without looking back. As soon as she gets home, she immediately grabs a tape measure to check. And what does she find? Kaede was absolutely right. Now Hina gets confused. What kind of Prince Charming is this? Completely royal on the outside, but a bit unpredictable on the inside. After some time, she asks her mother for permission to go out for a bit so she can get some space and time for herself. She arrives at the shopping mall, where she tries to get a toy from a game machine because she had promised her little sister. But after failing repeatedly, on her last attempt, a stranger comes up from behind and gives her some tips. With his help, Hina manages to get the toy, and as soon as she turns around to say thank you, she finds Kaede standing right in front of her. Just imagine how Hina must be feeling! Once again, she is totally stunned and shocked, but this time Kaede looks completely different. No ego of stardom, no fake attitude. Hina gets a little confused and, without thinking, calls out his name loudly. But this move turns out to be a bit risky because some fangirls standing nearby hear everything. Kaede immediately understands the situation and, grabbing Hina's hand, takes her to a safe place. As soon as they reach a secluded corner, Hina asks, "What were you doing in the mall?" Kaede smiles and says, "I had to shoot, but first I needed a little motivation." Hina doesn't have an answer. She just gives a slight laugh and says, "Don't worry, I won't tell anyone about your little fetish." Then she says that she has to go now because she's going to watch a movie. When Hina leaves, Kaede notices that the sole of her shoe is torn, and seeing this brings a soft, sweet smile to his face. A little while later, Hina arrives at the movie on time, and when she looks at her hand, the one Kaede had held, she says to herself, "I will never let go of this hand now." But then another cinematic twist arrives. Kaede also comes to the same theater to watch the same movie. During the film, Hina shares that she likes romantic movies because they are very sweet and heart-touching. The story of Cinderella has always been special to her. When the movie ends and Hina is quietly wiping her tears, Kaede extends one of his shoes towards her because he had noticed that Hina's shoe was torn. At first, Hina refuses to take the shoes, but eventually gives in to Kaede's insistence. The next morning, Hina seems a bit lost in class, as if her mind is somewhere else. She isn't listening to her friends, nor is she able to focus on her studies. Just then, a sudden excitement spreads through the school corridors. Girls everywhere are going crazy because a famous actor has entered the school, and our Hina had no idea at all. But Kaede is standing at the classroom door. All the students are running towards him, shouting, but Kaede doesn't care at all. His entire attention is only on Hina. He comes straight to Hina and gives her a new shoe. The entire classroom suddenly falls silent. All the students, including Hikari and Akira, are left just watching Kaede's Prince Charming gesture. But this was just the beginning. Kaede kneels down and carefully puts the shoes on Hina's feet. Then he says, just like you dreamed in the fairy tale. Later, outside the school, Hina goes after Kaede and tries to return the old shoes to him. Once again, she smiles, thanks him, and starts to leave. But before she goes, Kaede writes his phone number on her palm and says, call me so I can tell you my name myself. That very night, Hina's heart is leaping with joy, and she immediately tries to call Kaede. But when she makes the call, what does she see? This number is not available. Her heart breaks. On the other hand, at this moment, Kaede is enjoying dinner with his ex-girlfriend Shu. Shu is also a well-known actress, and now the two of them are in a better relationship without any grievances or complaints. Because soon, they are going to be co-stars in a romantic film. But for Hina, the situation isn't as positive. She keeps rubbing the number off with her hand, thinking that maybe Kaede was just playing with her feelings. Meanwhile, Kaede is getting ready in the van for the shoot, when his manager explains to him that for a celebrity, every little action in public matters. Even a small mistake can be risky for his image and career. But Kaede doesn't care. His eyes fall on Hina walking down the street. He immediately gets out of the van and goes over to Hina. He directly asks, why didn't you call me? Hina shows her call log, and Kaede realizes that he had accidentally given her his old number. He takes her phone to give her the correct number, but Hina snatches the phone away and says, don't play with me like this. I used to have feelings for you, but now there's nothing left. She starts to leave, but just then Kaede stops her. With a slight smile, he says, it's good to have hopes. And without wasting any time, even with his mask on, he gives Hina a sweet little kiss. Just like the climax of a perfect K-drama, as soon as the secrets Kaede was hiding and his heart-stealing charm are revealed, Hina is left completely stunned and can't even say a word. Meanwhile, Kaede softly says something that touches her heart. That when he first saw Hina, he was immediately curious to know her name, because it was love at first sight. Now, obviously, after hearing such a straightforward and sincere confession, Hina's heart completely melts and she finally tells Kaede her name. The very next day, we see Hina carefully choosing her undergarments. Why? Because she has her first date with Kaede. But fate always needs a dash of drama. At that moment, Akira arrives there holding a bouquet of flowers, and seeing the whole scene, he gets confused about what's actually going on. A little while later, Hina, dressed beautifully, waits for Kaede's van. As soon as he arrives, Hina asks where they're going on their date, but Kaede just smiles and says, just follow me and see for yourself. Then he takes Hina to his luxury apartment. Hina is amazed by the grandeur of the place, and Kaede tells her that he has never invited any girl to his home before. After that, the two spend quality time together, chat, look at photos of Kaede's old band, and enjoy lunch together. Then comes the moment to relax. Kaede says, let's watch a movie. During the movie, he pretends to fall asleep, and Hina, feeling a bit nervous, starts to touch him playfully and lightly. But then Kaede cleverly reveals his true feelings. Instincts fully unleashed. Hina is completely shocked, and it feels like the scene is about to switch straight into crime thriller mode. But then the tension explodes when their moment is interrupted by Kaede's manager, who angrily asks, what's going on here? And who is this girl? And the real drama begins when Kaede boldly says, she's my girlfriend. Hearing this, not only the manager but even Hina is left frozen. But the ultimate shock comes when the manager asks Hina her age, and she shyly says, I'm 16 years old. For the manager, it's almost like a heart attack moment. After this, when Hina goes home, the manager, full of anger, lashes out at Kaede and the scene becomes completely intense. The manager says that all of this is a threat to Kaede's career. This relationship isn't right, and right now Kaede has tons of films, shoots, and projects going on. But does Kaede care? He says in a cool and composed manner, do whatever you want, but don't interfere in my life. The next day, Hina is completely in a dreamy mode. Kaede's "she is my girlfriend" dialogue has truly sent her over the moon. Now all the time, she keeps imagining moments with him and fantasizing about being his girlfriend. But this dream doesn't last very long. She gets a message from Kaede. Because of shooting, they won't be able to meet for a few days now. In Kade's absence, Hina has plenty of free time, so on the weekend she goes to help out at Akira's family's flower shop. There's a light-hearted moment when Akira confesses his feelings, telling her that he truly loves Hina and believes their future could lead to marriage. But Hina takes him lightly, laughs it off thinking he's joking. At that moment, Akira receives an order for flowers, and it's from a well-known film production company. Now the responsibility of delivering the flowers is given to Hina. When she arrives on set with the flowers, her heart breaks right before her eyes. She sees that Kaede is performing a romantic scene with his ex-girlfriend Shu. Even though it's all just part of the shoot, for Hina, this moment feels no less than a breakup. With a broken heart, she is about to leave, but just then Kaede sees her and runs after her, taking her to a private place so that there are no witnesses. He then explains to her that it was just a scene and nothing personal. Hina understands and promises that she will never interfere in Kade's professional work. Kaede is so impressed by this mature and understanding behavior that he lovingly kisses her on the nose and makes it clear that from now on, no other guy can come near his girlfriend. But this loving moment is witnessed by Shu, who is watching from a distance, and the anger and jealousy are clearly visible on her face. A few days later, Kaede calls Hina. Kaede then asks Hina if she would like to go on a date with him, but Hina politely refuses. She says that today is Akira's birthday and there's a party at her house. Kaede understands the situation, but in his cool style says, "Don't worry, I have a plan." Then as soon as Akira's birthday arrives, before the party starts, Hikari encourages Hina to finally share her feelings with Kaede. Both of them enter the party, but then the biggest surprise happens. Kaede suddenly appears there. Everyone is shocked, and Hina in particular is completely stunned. Then, in front of everyone, Kaede confesses that he and Hina are now officially in a relationship. Hikari is overjoyed to hear this, but Akira's heart quietly breaks inside. He realizes that he has no place in front of superstar Kaede. Meals and daily routines continue as usual, but when the two boys are alone, Akira directly asks Kaede, "Are your feelings for Hina genuine? If they're not, you should stay away from her." Kaede now realizes that Akira also has feelings for Hina. That's why he firmly says that his feelings are pure and serious. Akira replies that he's not someone who ever gives up. After the party, when Hina is saying goodbye to her boyfriend, Kaede tells her that the competition for her love has now begun, and he is not going to lose. The next day, Hina goes to Kade's apartment. As soon as she opens the door, it's like a scene straight out of a Bollywood movie. She finds Kaede half naked. Hina immediately closes her eyes, and right then, Kaede starts teasing her in his playful and mischievous style. This little romantic moment between the two turns into real quality time, and just then, taking their relationship to the next level, Kaede gives Hina the key to his apartment. He says, "Whenever you feel lonely, you can come over." Hearing this, Hina is overjoyed. She can't contain her happiness. But behind the sparkle of this love story, there are also some shadows. A few days later, Kaede is having dinner alone at a restaurant when he spots his old bandmates. But Kade's old friends completely ignore him, as if there is some deep pain between them. This deeply hurts Kaede because these people were once his closest friends. That night, as Kaede lies alone on his sofa, memories from the past start to play before his eyes. Those moments when he was with his band. The team was completely united and happy, but then Kaede decided to leave the band and focus on his acting career. This decision created a rift in their relationship because Kaede was the leader of the band, and his departure caused the whole group to fall apart. On the other hand, a storm was about to enter Hina's life as well. At school, she overhears some girls gossiping about Kade's new movie and his ex, Shu. Everyone is saying that Kaede and Shu might get back together because their on-screen chemistry is still amazing. Hearing all this, Hina's mind starts to spin. She starts thinking that Shu is better than her in every way, so what chance does she really have with Kaede? As soon as she shares this with a friend, her friend bluntly says that no one can compete with a girl like Shu. But Hina is not someone who gives up easily. She decides that she will fight for her love. With this determination, she goes to Kade's apartment, because Kaede himself had said she could come whenever she wanted. But as soon as she enters, she notices a pair of high heels, and upon going inside, she sees that the scene is something else entirely. Her heart breaks instantly. She immediately runs away from there, and Kaede follows right behind her. Hina is furious and says that she doesn't want to hear anything from Kaede anymore. She feels that Kaede has only played with her emotions. After this incident, Hina becomes completely broken and doesn't leave her bed. When Akira finds out about all this, he immediately goes to Hina's house. When Hina slowly gets up, Akira gently holds her from behind to comfort her and tells her to stop thinking about Kaede, as he is only causing her pain. And then, for the first time, Akira opens up his heart to Hina. Hina is completely shocked because she had never seen Akira as anything more than a friend. When she is unable to respond, Akira gives her space and realizes that maybe everything happened a bit too quickly. A few days later, at the classroom door in school, Hina and Shu suddenly come face to face, and there is a strange tension in the air. That evening, Shu comes especially to meet Hina. The two sit together and openly talk about the whole situation. Shu directly tells Hina that she wants Kaede back, and so Hina should step aside. Hina, a bit hesitantly, agrees because she already felt that she was no match for a girl like Shu, not in beauty nor in status. But Hina says that she wants to truly understand Kaede and spend more time with him. Seeing Hina's honesty and determination, Shu's heart softens as well, and she reveals the truth. In fact, a few days earlier, Shu had tearfully pleaded with Kaede for them to get back together, but Kaede politely refused her. At this point, Shu also tells Hina that it was she herself who tried to kiss Kaede that day, but Kaede did not respond to the kiss at all. With this revelation, Shu bids farewell to Hina, as she has now decided to step back herself so that the true love between Hina and Kaede can come to light. That very night, Kaede comes to visit Hina. He apologizes for the misunderstanding that day and for the first time openly shares his feelings. How over time, his love has only grown deeper, and now the most important thing in his life is Hina. But Kaede is a famous actor and is always alert about his public image. That's why, the very next day, he rents out an entire park privately so that only the two of them can enjoy there together. And then, Hina and Kaede enjoyed the park to the fullest. The screams on the roller coaster, the laughter during horse rides, and the delight of cold ice cream in between. As night falls, Hina has to return home because she needs to take care of her little sister. At the end of the guided date, Kaede gives her a special gift. Hina thinks that maybe she'll get a romantic kiss now, but when she opens the gift, she's surprised. Kaede has gifted her a lovely little chain with a small pendant hanging from it, and along with it, Kaede says, "I am really happy to be your boyfriend." And with this moment, our couple's love story reaches a new milestone. Now their lives are filled only with love, fun, and moments spent together. New trips, movie dates, weekend adventures, and little surprises. But just like in every story, troubles can knock at any time, and that's exactly what happens when a sensational news story goes viral in the media. A reporter revealed that Kaede is in a relationship with a schoolgirl, and my friend, this could prove to be quite risky for his career. The real reason wasn't to focus on his acting career, but rather a serious swelling in his throat, because of which he could no longer sing. Kaede kept this pain hidden for quite some time, but when the discomfort became unbearable and surgery became necessary, he finally told the truth to his bandmates. And that too, just when they were about to go on an international tour. Kaede decided that the best thing would be for him to leave the group and give his friends a chance to move forward. After learning all this, Kade's manager also promises that from now on, he will help Kaede fulfill every one of his dreams. Meanwhile, at night, Hina keeps thinking about this conversation and then makes a big decision. The next day, she meets Kaede and apologizes to him. She says that maybe it's because of her that so much confusion has come into his life. That's why the time has come to end this little fairy tale right here. Crying, Hina leaves Kaede, and the saddest part is that all of this is happening on his birthday. Time passes, and then Kaede holds a press conference where he publicly admits that yes, he was dating a schoolgirl, but it won't happen again. He admits that he made a mistake and now wants to dedicate himself solely to his career. Hina's heart shatters into pieces upon hearing Kade's words. She goes and sits alone on the rooftop, but just then, Akira comes there, hugs her from behind, and comforts her. He says, "If you want to cry, then cry. I will always be with you, like a true friend." And after this moment, we jump straight to a 3-year time skip where Kaede wins an international award and becomes one of those few Japanese actors who have truly won the hearts of people around the world. Meanwhile, his manager is looking at all the gifts and fan letters that people send to Kaede, and among them, he finds one particular letter. But as soon as Kaede notices the letter, he quietly hides it in his pocket. And what happened to Hina? Well, she has deepened her bond with Akira. On her birthday, Akira gifts her a movie ticket, the very same film that is Hina's favorite. Now back to our hero, whose manager organizes a grand welcome party for his return to Japan. For Kade's happiness, the manager finally gives him the letter, and this letter is written by none other than Akira. It says that the two of them are no longer together, but Hina still watches all of Kade's movies day and night, and whenever she goes out, all she sees everywhere is Kaede. Seeing all this, Akira's heart truly breaks, but he knows that only Kaede is the right person for Hina's life. That's why Akira takes a big step. Along with that letter, he also leaves a movie ticket for Kaede so that he can go to the theater and maybe find his true love there again. And as soon as Kaede finds out about all this, his heart fills with excitement. Meanwhile, his manager is busy entertaining the audience, and at that moment, Kaede starts running at full speed to meet his love, Hina. But when he reaches the theater, he finds out that the show has already ended. Disheartened, he starts heading back home, and just then, as if fate itself had intervened, Hina comes down the stairs, and after 3 years, the two of them stand face to face once again. In that moment, Kaede speaks straight from the heart. "I promised myself that when I became worthy of your love, I would come looking for you." And then he gives Hina her birthday gift. a pair of shining shoes, symbolizing that from now on, if she wishes, every step she takes can lead her toward a beautiful future, with Kaede by her side. And then, without wasting a single moment, the two share a passionate, romantic kiss, and with this sweet cinematic moment, our romantic journey comes to an end. If you like this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Press the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. I'll keep bringing more amazing videos here that you'll definitely enjoy. Thank you for giving your valuable time.